Good morning. I'm back. I made it back to Kentucky yesterday. I couldn't have asked for a smoother trip. Traffic was, I was blessed with smooth traffic the whole day. Good conversations, good books to listen to, good music. It's actually like a little bubble for me of like personal, one of the reasons why I like even car trips. I'm a good explorer and traveler. I love it. Anyway, we're back. It's cold. No more palm trees and 70-degree mornings, but that's okay. That's okay. It's beautiful here. It's beautiful. And I'm glad to be back. And my doggos gave me the most exciting greeting, and my family. As a matter of fact, I was having a little bit wired and tired last night and got up about midnight to take some magnesium to help, my mind and body relax. And then my daughter creeped up the stairs, and she needed a heart-to-heart. She needed her mom. So I was up till 2 a.m. Anyway. So there's a little bit about my perspective today and my last 24 hours, but it's all right. I am resilient. I will bounce back, and it's all good. It was all worth it. Those heart-to-hearts, when your 17-year-old wants a heart-to-heart, doesn't matter if it's 3 a.m. I will make it happen and treasure it. So anyway, 2 Peter chapters 2 and 3. So short book of 3 chapters. And today I think I titled it that humility provides stability. And Peter again talks about sort of the trap of false teachers, even becoming maybe a false teacher, half-hearted knowledge and half-hearted living doesn't work. It provides instability. And one of the things that blocks this is the human ego, which the human ego does not like to be humble, doesn't like humility. But paradoxically, this is where we find stability as a human. Because when you accept that you don't know everything and that you're not right, and your interpretation and what you see maybe isn't all that there is, and you stay humble, and which allows you, this is one of the fruits of the spirits and one of the things that allows you to get to love and grace. You can't have love and grace without humility. It's like, Paul was, we all know it was James that we just got done with, that says faith without works is dead. Love and grace without humility is dead. It's not love. But it's a trap because you can feel very loving. But if you are not submitting yourself and being humble and keeping yourself humility. And here's what I love, like going back, for those of you that are new to me, way back when I did a word study on humility, humbleness. Hume is the root word, and it literally means ground. So, grounded, stability, the ground for us. When we even say the word grounded, we're kind of referring to stability, feeling grounded and stable in our lives. Hume, literally of the earth, to remember that as a human, which is part of the word human, it's the root word for humble, it's the root word for humility, is Hume. When you remember that you are of the earth, because your ego wants to jump up and be like a little G God. I know everything. I understand everything. And then you can become a false teacher. But a lot of even false teachers have enough of an understanding that they sound like there's enough truth in there that it's very deceptive. And so when you yourself are not grounded in humility and grounded in the truth of love and keeping yourself connected directly, you can become very vulnerable to false teachers. It's arrogance feeding off of arrogance, and being even part of a group and part of, all of that, like, oh, look at us, we're so important. It's groupthink. It's, we know everything. We're right and you're wrong. That's not love and grace. It's definitely not humility. And then there's a whole false humility where you think just being subservient and going along with things is humility. That's not humility either. Humility, true humility, God's version of humility, when paired with, again, love and grace, and God's love, not your love, God's love, the oneness of everything, humility keeps you grounded. And if you find yourself in a situation, and I was in one in I've been in a few the last actually week, where it was like right fighting. I call it right fighting, where it's ego gets activated and you're like, how dare you? And you did this and blah, blah, blah. And then really being able to sit in the aftermath of that and go, wow. And then come back and eat a little humble pie. Like, I can see how I did this and I went off track here. And you really learn from it, because grace, when we stand firm in grace that we talked about the other day, you can be fully human. It doesn't mean that you've got to now be perfect all the time and just loving and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, you're fully human. Which means that you come back down to earth, you ground yourself, you find your stable footing in humility and go, wow, I really went over here with my ego, and I'm sorry about that. And then you even allow the other person in the relationship to also do the same thing. You don't have to own the whole thing or take the blame for all of it. It takes two. And both parties, when you get two people that are stable with humility, that's a loving relationship where you can be fully loved, fully human, fully standing firmly in grace. That sounds like heaven on earth, doesn't it? That sounds like salvation, being saved from our ego, to being willing to die to the self. Your feet, God gave us gravity to remind us that we need to stay firmly. We are of the earth. We do not have wings that we can just fly. Peter even uses the analogy of when you don't make the full transition, when you just kind of half-heartedly go through the transformation process and you deceive yourself by good behavior, but your heart hasn't changed, and you don't complete that full transformation into a Christ-conscious, Christ-centered life and heart, where your heart has really changed, you will, that's what the whole false teacher. You can become vulnerable to a false teacher. You can become the false teacher. And it's like he says, it's like a dog that returns to its vomit. Excuse me there. Or a pig returning to the mud. Yikes. So if you don't fully change who you are, and you don't complete the transformation process of the heart with which love, grace, humility was the thing that Jesus role modeled and walked out and taught more than any other characteristic, because it's from humility that I think also follow all the other fruits. You can't be patient and kind without being humble. I think it's the top the top dog of the fruit, because from it can flow all of the other things. So I think it's love. Well, faith has to be involved, because that is what propels you to complete the transformation process. You have to complete it in faith, and you have to walk it out, and it's active, and then your heart gets transformed. But humbleness is the stabilizing quality. Maybe is that the word? Anyway, stability, humility provides stability, is what I got out of 2 Peter chapters 2 and 3. And in order to do that, you have to submit that there is something higher than you, a way that is higher than you, that you have to take responsibility for and stay directly connected to the truth in yourself, so that you can't be sideswiped by false teachers. And you don't even become a false teacher yourself. That whole mixture has pride and arrogance written all over it. So stay humble, my friends, and help me as well. We're in this together. All right. See you tomorrow with, what are we? I think it's 1 John tomorrow. All right. Bye.